limiting beliefs that we all were taught to us by our parents, and probably our parents were being taught by their parents, and their parents were being taught by their parents. So it's like an ancestral imprints that we are still carrying on, and we are leaving those imprints even in on our children. Now, today we are going to just look at those top 10 limiting beliefs that we carry as parents, and we give or we pass it on to our kids. Now let me share my screen quickly. Okay, so top 10 limiting beliefs that parents usually have. Now, uh, why do we have those beliefs? Probably older generation techniques or teachings to teach us some values, obviously. But these are limiting because they do not serve the purpose of nurturing a child, nurturing their thought process, nurturing their beliefs, nurturing them to be successful. Now, let us look at top 10 limiting beliefs. The number one is, if you apologize to your kid, you lose credibility. Now, I have seen so many parents, they just do not apologize to their children. Now, in my previous videos also, I have emphasized on apologizing to your child, because then you are following a pattern which eventually the child will also follow. And when you do not apologize, you are not taking responsibilities of your own actions. That resiliency has to be built from you for your children. So the child will also model that behavior, of course. And that's what I've been telling in most of my videos, that apologizing is not going to lose you your credibility as a parent. It is just going to show to your child that we parents are human and we do make mistakes. Now, if this is something that really resonates with you, then type in the chat box that we need to apologize. Apologize. Just type in apologize in the chat box. Now, the second is, I don't know from where this came, but do not discuss money matters in front of them, in front of children. Probably there was this thought that children might get attracted towards money, towards spending money, when they understand the value of money, when they understand what money does, what money gives. But probably this is not a valid scenario in today's case. We actually, in fact, on the contrary, I would like to emphasize is that it is important and it is necessary for our children to know what money does. And in order to teach them the value of money, we need to discuss money matters in front of them. That's how they are going to learn the value of preserving money, of managing money. And we need to teach them right from the beginning. The third is, my kid is born notorious. Now, how many times have we heard about us, our parents telling it to someone else that, my kid is born notorious? And how many times have we told other parents that, my kid is born notorious? Isn't it? So it's a limiting belief, because when we attach or when we define our kid, that is probably the behavior that the child is going to model. So the child is actually proving to you that, yes, I am notorious. Now see how I become notorious, how I become naughty. So this is the limiting belief that we need to change, and we need to instead focus on the positive and focus on the strengths of our children, rather than calling them as these, using negative words for them like naughty, notorious, or non-compliant, for that matter. But yeah, that's the whole point of it. The fourth is, my kid just does not listen to me. So now this, I know that we all say at some point, we all tend to say this, we all tend to believe this, that my kid is not going to listen to me. But let me tell you a fact. It's not what you teach your child. It's obviously you are teaching your child valuable lessons, values, and great belief systems. But it's not about what you teach your child. It's about how you teach your child. It's about the way you nurture that value inside the child's brain, right? You inject that value inside the child's brain. It's about how you teach your child anything. Okay, so this is one point which we need to understand, that it's not about what you're teaching, it's about how you're teaching your child those values. The next is, so this is a limiting belief that I feel is really judgmental, because a good mom's children never cry or throw tantrum. So, well, rather, I would like to reframe this sentence as a good belief that a good mom does not let herself affect with the child throwing a tantrum. So a good mom knows her limits, knows her stand, and she does not lose her cool when the child is throwing her tantrum. So that is what I would like to reframe the sentence, because this sentence is really judgmental, and it's been in this like being taught to us since childhood, since so many years it's going on, right? Sixth is, girls are more manageable than boys. Now, my friends, like, I have experienced it with myself, like my friends who have kids who are boys. My friends would tell me that, you have a girl, you don't have to worry a lot about it, because girls usually tend to sit in one place and play. They prefer playing by sitting at one place. But that's absolutely not true, because my daughter has two brothers, two cousins, and she is a total like fighter among them, and she equally plays with them in that level of naughtiness. So it's not true. It's a limiting belief, and we all must, forget this kind of a belief that girls are more manageable than boys. Okay. Seventh is, children should not be involved in elderly discussions. Now, how many times have we heard parents say that when elders are talking, the children must not interfere, right? Now, what kind of a belief does the child gets, or the child learns from this sentence or from this belief? The child learns that their opinion does not matter. And when they become elder, when they become adults, they have low self-esteem in order to, whenever they are asked their opinions publicly. So I personally have faced this when the time came that I had to give my opinion about certain things. I was conscious about it. I was self-conscious. I had a little low self-esteem, right? So instead of that, if we actually consider their opinions, doesn't matter we implement that right away or doesn't matter, but give them their voice, right? Even they are a part of this family, and they should be included in every kind of discussions. Obviously, you can. It's okay if you don't follow, but at least you need to tell them that, okay, fine, your opinion matters, and thank you for sharing your opinion, right? So that is a limiting belief that I feel that most parents have, and we inadvertently pass it on to our kids. Eighth is, children need to be punished to be disciplined. Now, uh, this is really sad, and this is a limiting belief that most parents have, that in order to make them disciplined, we need to punish them, either emotional punishment or physical punishment. Now, example of an emotional punishment is that if you do not work or if you do not study, I'll send you in hostel. And the example of physical punishment is, obviously we all know, spanking and smacking. I completely disagree with this notion that children need to be punished to be disciplined, because there are so many cons to it. The child, first of all, becomes violent. They can actually, there are two types of behavior that the child will exhibit. Obviously, compliance is number one behavior that they will follow, but that is very short term. It's never long term. They are not learning any valuable lesson through punishments. You are, in fact, when we punish our children, we are taking away that lesson from them and rather focusing on us as parents. Now, you have made me angry, so you need a punishment. We are not saying that you have done something wrong and you need to learn a lesson out of that mistake. We are actually teaching them that you have angered me, so now you're going to get punishment. We are actually taking away that lesson from them. Okay. The ninth one is spanking or smacking your child is okay. So this is a belief that. Let me share with you an instance that happened with me. So in my webinars, I usually take webinars for parents who want to understand their child's psychology. And in one of those webinars, after my webinar ended, one of the parents, he did not really, agree with what I was teaching there. And he said that, stitch in time saves 9. So one smack can actually save a lot of years of you teaching your child something, some value. Now, it really hurt me, but I couldn't say anything. But this is something that we parents need to change our thoughts, because by hitting your child, you can get the compliance, but it will be very temporary. And instead, you can actually get an angry child. Then you'll be having questions like, why my child is aggressive. Now you have sown the seed of aggression, and what do you expect the fruit would be? Aggression. Now, if this is something which I completely disagree with, and just thought I would share it with you. And the last one is, parenting comes naturally. You do not need to learn it. Now, I have experienced this, okay? You are a parent, you are a mother. You should know when your child is hungry. You should know how to keep your child in control. And that is something which does not resonate with me, because at every stage of life, we are parents. We need to learn that skill of handling or managing our children, because parenting is a life skill. And like any other skill, we need to learn it. Now, we all know, since childhood, we go to school, we get educated in order to do a job. In order to, we develop some skill set, and that skill set actually helps us earn money, isn't it? Now, parenting is such a skill that cannot be inherited. It has to be learned like any other skill. It is actually a way of life. And if you are not learning, if you are not progressing in your journey, then who will, right? Instead of you, who will actually parent your child in a way which is necessary in today's times? Now, these are the 10 tips, or the 10 limiting beliefs that I thought of. And if you have more limiting beliefs like any other, just type in the chat box and let me know. I will add them to this mind map. And if you really liked this video, then probably your next steps would be to join my FB group, which I'll be sharing in the chat box, and join my Telegram group for more updates. I conduct webinars for parents to understand their child's psychology, and this is something which I really love doing. I love doing research on child psychology. I love this topic, parenting, and it just resonates with me a lot.